Good morning, students. I am Basavaraja R C, your science teacher. The Letlo Paris Higher Primary School, GSR Extension 6th class, Chitradurga. Welcome back to online classes. Today we discuss about 8th standard, 2nd chapter, the microorganisms, friends and foe. In this chapter, we already know that the what is microorganisms and how to grow and the type of the microorganisms and examples of the bacteria, algae, fungi and protozoa and what is viruses and how to useful microorganisms in our daily life and the commercial uses of microorganisms and medicine the uses of microorganisms, what is the precautions to antibiotics and how to use penicillin and how to develop a penicillin and vaccine. Today we will discuss about the increasing the soil fertility. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich the soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microorganisms are commonly called as a biological nitrogen fixers. In cleaning the environment, you often see large amounts of dead organic matter in the form of a decaying plants and sometimes the dead animals on the ground. You find that they disappear after some time. This is because the microorganisms decompose the dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into the small substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals. Thus, the microorganisms can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby clean up the environment. Next, harmful microorganisms. The microorganisms are harmful in many ways. Some of the microorganisms that cause diseases in human beings, plants and animals. Such diseases causing the microorganisms are called pathogens. Pathogens enters our body through the air we breathe, the water we drink or the food we eat. They can also get transmitted by a direct contact with an infected person or carried through an animal. In microbial diseases that can spread from the infected persons to a healthy persons through air, water, food or physical contact are called communicable diseases. Example of such diseases that includes cholera, common cold, chickenpox and tuberculosis. Then, when a person suffering from common cold, the sneeze, the fine droplets or moistures that carrying thousands of viruses are spread in air. The virus may enter the body of the healthy person while breathing. And harmful microorganisms, they are some insects and animals which acts as a carriers of disease causing microbes. And housefly is one of the carrier. The flies sit on the garbage and animals and excreta and pathogens that sticks to their bodies. When the flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. However, and eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick, and mosquito is another carrier. Examples of carriers are the female Anopheles, a mosquito which carries the parasite of malaria, and female Aedes, the mosquito acts as a carrier of dengue viruses. And all mosquitoes breed in water, and hence the one should not let the water collect anywhere in colors, tires and flower the pot etc. By keeping the surrounding clean and dry, we can prevent the mosquitoes from breeding. Some common human diseases that caused by microorganisms. First one, the human diseases and causative microorganisms and mode of transmissions and preventive measures. First one is tuberculosis, is the measles and chickenpox and polio. These are the comes from bacteria. Next, virus, and chickenpox is virus and polio is virus. The mode of transmissions and tuberculosis come from air, and second one is air. Third one is, and chickenpox comes from air or directly contact to person, and polio is comes from air or water. And preventive measures that keep the patients in a complete the isolations and keep the personal belongings to the of the patients away from the those of others, and vaccinations to be given at a suitable age. Second one is cholera. Cholera comes from bacteria through the water or food, and typhoid is come from a bacteria through the water. And prevention measure is the maintain the personal the hygienic and a good sanitary habits, and consume a properly the cooked food and boiled drinking water. Vaccinations. And next one is hepatitis A. It comes from virus through the water. Drink boiled drinking water. And next one is the vaccination. And next one is malaria. It comes from a protozoa through the mosquito, and use mosquito net and repellent and spray the insecticides and control the breeding of mosquito. And this is the causing the microorganisms in animals. And several microorganisms not only cause diseases in humans and plants but also in other animals. For example, anthrax is a dangerous humans and cattle disease caused by a bacteria. The foot and mouth disease of cattle is caused by a virus. And Robert Koch in 1876 discovered the bacteria Bacillus anthracis, which cause the anthrax diseases. And diseases causing the microorganisms in plants. In several microorganisms cause diseases in plants like wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, and orange, apple, and others. The diseases reduce the yield or crop. They can be controlled by the use of certain chemicals which kill the microbes. Some common plant diseases caused by microorganisms in plant. And citrus the anchor. It comes from a bacteria and mode of is the air. And rust of wheat. It comes from a fungi. It comes through the air or seeds. Next one is yellow the mosaic of a bindi or okra. It comes from virus. It comes from a insects. And food prevention. Next one is food prevention. The food is the spoiled by microorganisms, and spoiled food has the bad smell and bad taste and causes food the poisoning. The food can be preserved by protecting it from microorganisms. Food can be preserved by different methods. There are the chemical method. First one is chemical method. The food like pickles can be prevented by using chemicals like salt and edible oils, and jams and squashes that can be preserved by using the sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite, and these chemicals are called preservatives. And second one is by using common salts. And food items like fish, meat, amla, raw mangoes, and tamarind, etc. can be preserved by using common salts. It prevents the growth of microbes. Next one is by using sugar. The food items like jams, jellies, the squashes, etc. can be preserved by using a sugar solution. It prevents the growth of the microbes. And next one is by using oil and vinegar. The food items like pickles, vegetables, the fish, the meat, etc. are preserved by using the oil and vinegar. It prevents the growth of the microorganisms. Fifth one is by heat and cold treatments. And heat and food items that kills microbes. Similarly, the storing the food items at low temperature that prevent growth of microorganisms. Next one is preservations. The process of heating the milk to about 70 degrees centigrade for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly the chilling it to prevent the growth of microbes is called a pasteurization. This process was discovered by a Louis Pasteur. Next, by storage and packing, the many food items are stored in airtight and containers to protect them from microbes. Today we will stop here. Thank you, students.